This Health Ranger Report Pandemic Podcast is brought to you by NaturalNews.com for uncensored reporting and HealthRangerStore.com for lab-tested preparedness supplies such as storable food, full-face medical masks, biostructured silver first aid gel, and iodine, only while supplies last. The title of this Pandemic.News podcast is How to Survive a Gun Battle Over Food. This is Mike Adams, of course, here, the Health Ranger, publisher of Pandemic.News. And isn't it amazing that we're even having this kind of conversation? How to survive a gunfight over food. But this is what's coming. There are going to be gun battles over food. And the first and most important rule of surviving a gunfight over food is to don't get into a gunfight over food. So this is something that, all of us who have done a lot of years of tactical training and firearms training and combat training, those kinds of things. I've never been in actual combat, but, and I hope never to, but I've done lots of live fire training and hostage rescue scenarios and executive protection scenarios and things like that. The number one rule is don't get in a gunfight. So if you find yourself in a parking lot with a bunch of angry, freaked out, non-prepping Americans who have all simultaneously suddenly lost their shit, and no, to the editors, don't bleep that out. I mean, if you, the listener, can't handle a little bit of language here, you're not going to be able to handle the world, because the world has lost its shit. Okay. But the number one rule is don't end up in a parking lot arguing over food in a country with 500 million guns and people who have lost their minds. So that's rule one right there. All right. So that's the first scenario is prep in advance. Okay. Don't be around highly emotional, desperate people. So that's one of the scenarios. Let's talk about other scenarios though. Suppose somebody comes to your house. Here's a scenario that is going to happen all across the country. Hey, I heard that you're a prepper. I heard that you might have some extra food for the rest of us and that you've been hoarding it, and hoarding is bad. So why don't you give us your food? And by the way, we're all armed. So why don't you really give us your food? Okay, that kind of conversation is going to happen all across America. Couple of important answers to this. Number one, I think, this is my personal opinion, I think it's a great idea to have a stash of expired food that you could give away while you're hiding the stuff that's going to keep you alive. So micro-caching is going to become very important, and being able to hide food, but have a stash of decoy food that you're ready to give out. Because if, 6 neighbors come to your door, now they have a neighborhood posse, and they're all armed, and they're all panicked, and they're all unprepared, it's a better idea to give them some old expired food and just say, look, this is all I have. I didn't prep either. My God, we're all in the same boat, you morons. But here, have some spaghetti sauce from 2014 or whatever you've got, and just give it to them. Because the key here is avoiding conflict wherever possible. And I have the same strategy as well, except I'll be donating to churches and things like that. I happen to be, running HealthRangerStore.com, which is a large food manufacturing warehouse. And we are in rural Texas. And I know the sheriff and I know some of the top people. And if things get crazy, we're going to help out as best we can. We're going to provide supplies to the local people, as we've done in previous things like floods and fires of 2011 and things like that. So we're going to help out, but that's not your situation. So I'm not going to belabor that point. I mean, God blessed us for some reason with the foresight and the financial resources and the ability to order all this food. So if I can use that food to help fellow Texans, damn well believe I'm going to do it. Okay. And maybe someday later, the county will pay me back. I don't give a crap at this point. Maybe I'll never get paid. Who cares? The whole financial system is basically cratering anyway. Not that money's going to be worth much when this is all over and done with. I'd much rather my neighbors have some food. Okay. Even if it's goji berries. That'll be the first time for a lot of Texans. What are goji berries, man? Okay, let's talk about nutrition. But whatever. Chia seeds. They've never seen those before. Okay. It's going to be funny. Trust me. It's going to be funny or tragic. I don't know. One of the, maybe both. But nevertheless, if you are in a gun battle, okay, let's get to that scenario. If you're in a gunfight, I mean, how do you compress this information? I don't know your skill level, but let me cover some things that a lot of people don't know. Cars do not stop bullets. So if you're behind a car door because you watched a movie and in the movie the car door stopped bullets, then that bad knowledge could kill you, or anti-knowledge. Cars don't stop bullets. And so also, if you're in a gun battle and your adversary who started the fight and is trying to kill you, if he's hiding behind a car, just shoot through the damn car. We shoot through cars all the time in training. We do all kinds of vehicular exits and vehicular rescues and all kinds of things like that. And these cars that we use in training, oh, they're all shot to hell. I mean, there's so many bullet holes in those cars. The bullets go through the seats, the dashboard. They go through everything except the engine block. So cars don't stop bullets. The second thing, people who haven't trained in such scenarios, they tend to not fire enough rounds, and they tend to not carry enough ammo. So I've been carrying, we'll say, at least one gun on my person. That's all I'm willing to admit to, for 20 years, over 20 years. And I carry spare mags, not just the mag in my pistol, but more mags, extra mags. That's all I'm going to say. And I've been doing it for decades. Why do those of us who have training in this area, why do we carry spare mags? Because we know that whoever lays down the most lead is probably going to win the gunfight. Now, a lot of experts out there who are more experienced than I am in this area, they'll say the average gunfight is over in 3 seconds and it happens within 3 feet and they only fire 3 rounds. That's the 3-3-3 rule. But those are like robberies. We're talking about a whole different scenario here. We're talking about food raids, dedicated small teams of starving, desperate people who are going to come at you with pistols and rifles and shotguns. You're going to need to lay out a lot of lead. And this is why it's good to have a rifle and to know how to run it and to know how to reload it and to have some spare mags ready and to have something other than full metal jacket ammo. You need expanding tips, okay? Expanding tips. Controlled Chaos is one brand that I personally enjoy owning and loading into magazines, because if I'm in a gunfight with somebody and they hit me with their AR-15, but they're using full metal jacket rounds, unless they hit a blood vessel or a bone, it's just going to go through some flesh, which I can survive. But if I hit them with one of my rounds, it's going to tear about a 6-inch diameter hole as it passes through their body, and they will not be able to continue fighting, which is the whole point, stop them from killing you. So you need the right ammo. You may still be able to find some of that ammo because it's more premium priced. One thing that happens as guns and ammo run out in terms of supply lines is that the higher priced ammo stays available for longer. So the premium rounds, the self-defense rounds, and even the higher caliber rounds. So right now you could probably still buy 300 Win Mag, 338 Lapua Magnum, 6.5 Creedmoor, things like that. You could probably still find those. I was buying some ammo last week online, and it wasn't in short supply then, but I tend to buy the higher calibers because if a team comes at me, well, I'm going to unleash multiple magazines of semi-auto rounds of 338 Lapua, which goes through vehicles and people, multiple seats, multiple vehicles, come to think of it. It's basically like a light machine gun from the military. And of course I have the Barrett too, but I'm not a big fan of the 50 cal rounds because they're just too damn brutal to deal with and the guns are too heavy. So I tend to go with something a little smaller, which are still big calibers, 338 Lapua Magnum, which, believe me, they do plenty of damage. So the thing is, you need to prepare to expend a lot of ammo. And I think the mindset of a lot of people who have watched movies and such, they think, oh, you fire one round. It's like, and hey, if you're Dirty Harry, the old Clint Eastwood movies, you don't even have to aim. He always fires his pistol from his hip, never even aims. And he's just shaking that gun at whoever he's shooting at. It's insane. So those of us who have practiced these scenarios, we tend to fire very rapidly. For example, one of the drills that we do with AR-15 rifles is rapid fire on multiple targets. And we use these sound detection measurement devices that can tell you how many rounds per second that you're firing. And so when I'm doing these drills, I will typically fire 4 to 5 rounds per second from an AR-15. That's moving. That's like, like, you know, that you're going through a 30-round magazine in less than 7 seconds. So that's the pace that will need to be practiced if you are actually in a gunfight. Someone comes to your home and you've decided to fight it out. You should be going through a 30-round mag, of course, with target placement. I don't mean spraying and praying at non-existent targets. You put rounds on target, but you do it rapidly and you expend lots of rounds and you switch mags and you keep going. And if you do that, you have a much greater chance of being alive at the end of it compared to your adversary who probably maybe doesn't have this knowledge or doesn't have the skill set that you do. So there's a little bit of truth for you right there. I know in these times, nobody wants to hear any truth. Everybody's triggered by everything. Okay, whatever. I'm just telling people what you need to know to survive. And the truth is, you probably don't have a mindset of shooting enough bullets with enough speed yet. And that's what I'm trying to get through your head here. Hope you survive. I really do. I want you to make it. But remember rule 1, avoid the gunfights if you can. That's the most important rule. If you get caught in one, you've already made some kind of tactical error, probably. And then you're going to need to shoot your way out. And that's never a good scenario to be in. Thanks for listening. Mike Adams here, the Health Ranger, pandemic.news. When it comes to prepping, you not only need good products that can help keep you alive, awake, aware, and nourished during difficult times, you also need products you can trust. At the Health Ranger store, we do extensive laboratory testing using an in-house lab that's ISO accredited. It's inspected, it's audited. It's a 2-year process to even get that accreditation. We use multiple mass spec instruments, state-of-the-art science. I'm a published science author as well and a patent holder on several technologies, some of which we use variations of in our lab. The purpose of this lab is to help you make sure you get clean foods, superfoods, storable foods for emergency preparedness and survival use. We have a certified organic lab-tested, what's called Ranger Bucket collection of storable foods with some survival gear in the buckets to help you even boil water and cook those foods and so on. It's a fantastic product. We can barely keep it in stock even during normal times. In a crisis, we'll be wiped out of this product because it actually takes us a lot of time to make those products. But if they're in stock, you can get them now at healthrangerstore.com/prepwithmike. In fact, go to that URL, healthrangerstore.com/prepwithmike, and you'll see some of our survival and preparedness supplies, including iodine, colloidal silver products and gel first aid products, storable foods, superfoods, medicinal herbs for first aid, and much more. We have a lot of products for you to help you be self-reliant, to be safe, to survive difficult circumstances, natural disasters, and all kinds of things. If you want to get prepared, do it with us at the Health Ranger store so that you know you're getting safe, clean, laboratory-verified preparedness foods, supplements, and other related products. Again, the URL is healthrangerstore.com/prepwithmike. All one word, no spaces. Prep with Mike. I'm Mike Adams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.